Thank you for making time, even though I know you were traveling. I heard you went to the boys' planet.
I did. I went and I visited some boys to watch Boys Planet with and to react to boys. And although it was very fun to get some fresh perspectives, this was the first week that you and I watched apart.
I know. So our opinions will probably be a surprise.
I don't know.
Normally, we are like two beautiful bacteria in one Petri dish. But this time, we're two beautiful bacteria in separate Petri dishes. And maybe they'll look different. I don't know.
Well, I watched with three boys. I watched with three other boys, and I felt that our opinions were all the same and probably going to match yours.
Well, I'm still excited. So, any first comments before we just sort of get into it?
I was surprised by the lack of confidence in a lot of the remaining trainees.
Yeah, if you think you're such a flop, why do you think you're here when other people aren't?
Exactly. I mean, I guess some boys were forced into their songs, but it seemed like there was a good variety and no one seemed that upset that they were in the places that they were in. Yeah, except maybe Junhyun.
I noticed that, for all the people who are like, no, I can't do that part, I can't do that part, I can't do that part. What do you think you would do in the final group?
Literally. You think they would just write parts for you? No, they're buying these songs from Americans. They're buying them from Meghan Trainor.
They're buying them from, two Norwegian people in a studio together, married, who write Cookie. They start this show with the worst prank, the most boring prank they've ever pulled.
Okay, yeah, that was actually, so... First off, it was such a different tone, and it was so lame.
I'm glad they let Haruto do one of the scaring things, but most flop prank ever. Sorry to be a hater, but...
I had literally already forgotten about it. I forgot that was even in the episode because it was nothing to me.
They start with this sort of reverse dodgeball team thing.
Yeah, where the lower ranks get to choose first and then they get kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought was interesting was that, the higher ranks got to choose which person to kick out, and it wasn't just the lowest rank gets kicked out.
Yeah, I think that's interesting to me. That makes it way more tactical.
Completely. Because I feel like there's ways where you could kick out a member that you felt didn't fit the concept, or one that you were, competing with for a similar part.
Being the star?
Yeah.
Everyone wanted Tomboy, which I'm sorry to be a hater. I don't like Tomboy. I notoriously do not like Tomboy. I talked to a bunch of gay men about Tomboy. I talked to a bunch of lesbians about Tomboy, and this also applies for Nude. Every single gay man is in love with Tomboy. Every single lesbian I've met fucking hates, cannot stand it, cannot deal with it.
Interesting.
I don't know why, but it's just how it happens with G-Idol.
Okay, interesting. The gay man I was with loved it. The bisexual man I was with was like, no, this is not it.
Interesting. Because, it doesn't...
And the straight guy.
It doesn't happen for bisexual people. But wait, what does straight guy feel? How do you feel?
He didn't make his opinion on Tomboy known. Should I DM him?
Yes.
Okay.
We can, if he's late, we can edit it in later. So, did you see, when they were choosing the songs, how the girl group fans were losing their minds?
I was happy that there were so many girl group choices. I feel like there's never this many girl group choices. Or just, girl artist choices. And there were some fun ones.
One of them was Twice.
No, I feel like there's never this many female artists on the board. And I thought they chose really good songs by female artists with the exception of Tomboy.
You mean with the exception of Zoom?
No, I think Zoom and Feel Special are good and Tomboy's bad.
Oh, interesting. Sorry, I'm a Zoom hater.
Really?
Yeah, I am not a crazy Jessie fan, not like Takuto, who is Jessie as his ringtone.
I liked it. I thought it was a fun, canvas for trainees to write their own raps on top of. I don't, listen to Zoom casually, but...
That's fair. I guess I'm just a Jessie anti, kind of.
Wow. Get canceled.
I know.
Get doxxed.
While the G group stands were losing their minds, there's a specific guy who I can't see who was saying this, but I think it was Park Hanbin, who, when they were talking about Twice, one guy said to So-won, "Let's show them how queens do it."
Okay, on the translation that I watched, Some guy said there's going to be a lot of queens in that group.
I thought it said, let's show them how queens do it, because I want to know who said that. Whoever said that, I love that, because here's the thing. It looks like it might have been Park Han-bin, but he wasn't moving his mouth in that clip, even though he was, like, sort of looking at So-won. I can't tell who it was. It's my mystery.
Oh, I don't know. We didn't have that same translation. This is such a different experience when we're not watching together.
Wow, this is fucking Berenstein Bears moment. At the editing that didn't get to show this week, Woongi? Fucking Team Carrie.
What did he say? I thought I'd be having to fight for this part, but I have to fight for other people to want parts.
It's so strange to, like, for in a group, Ungi is the one who's, like, the responsible leader. He's kind of used to being, like, in his last group, he was a maknae.
Mm-hmm. I'm shocked by, in that group, sorry to these boys, Chai Jinshin and Shuaibo's ranks, too. They're super high.
I know. I'm like, because they haven't really served on screen. Moreover, they haven't really had screen time till this episode. And I feel like it's kind of negative.
They literally had none.
Like, here's the thing. I like Shuaibo. I don't really think his basics are there yet to be in a group.
Fair enough.
I like him, though.
I can't fight for either of them because they had no screen time before now. I don't think Shuaibo had any lines in Backdoor.
Oh, no. He literally didn't.
God.
Sungkwan team leader moment.
Yeah, I hated that song. I wish that Sungkwan did a good job. I mean, he did do a good job performing it, I guess. But I literally thought that the song was not good, so, like, I didn't enjoy his performance.
I really did not. I'm sorry to be a hater. I really did not like the performance. Like, because here's the thing. I can't see shit. Because it's, like, everything's black and there's lasers going everywhere, which makes the quality of the video, like, struggle more. So I can't see anyone. These are, like, the worst fits to me. The worst makeup and hair, what they did to Sungkwan's face. If you look at Junhyun's close-up, they crimped his hair randomly.
No.
I'm going to pull up his face at the end because they crimped random parts of his hair enough that you can't tell that it's crimped unless you look up close.
This styling has gone crazy in some of these groups.
I'm when I see the Feel Special group, I'm like, this sucks. Because, like, I wish it felt special. But, do you see that crimped hair?
It's literally just, like, chunks. It's, like, not even like they took a chunk of his hair and crimped the whole chunk. It's like they just did it in, like, a random patch.
I was looking at Sungkwan's makeup, and it was really bad. Like, I hate the eyebrow with the 2 commas under his eye. But anyways, I'll say, Moon Junghyun, Chen Jianyu, and Lee Jonghyun, I did not vibe with any of their raps. My bad. Here's the thing. Junhyun, his vocal moments, there are some parts where you can tell that he has really nice vocal tone. But could he maybe do one of the 3 moves he did?
The little silly bits?
Yeah, back to back. He makes a face and he puts his glasses on upside down. He pulls up his shirt to do fake abs that he rolls. And then he turns around and wiggles his butt at the camera. Can you choose one?
He's just a little extra for you.
How'd the boys like that?
Well, first they thought it was his real abs. And then they realized that they weren't, and it was a joke. And they showed, like, the clip of Jung doing it before, and they were like, oh. And then they realized they could forgive it because he was making fun of someone else. But they were like, if he had just done that regularly, it would be cringe.
Yeah, a specific call out. Everyone loves drama. They edited, so Jibung said, he stole it from me. And, like, when Gyuvin won, but that reaction was actually, like, when he says, I feel something was stolen from me, that was actually from when Junhyun did his ab roll. But they moved it to, it seems like, he's like, Gyuvin stole my number 1. Do you actually mind if we talk about Love Killa real quick?
No, we can go right to Love Killa.
Because here's the thing. If you are not sexually attracted to men, this performance, I'm sure, does not hit near how it does if you were attracted to men.
Yeah, the highlight of the whole performance for me was, like, the Matthew Ji-woong part where it looked like he was like pulling his head back. Because when I was watching it with the boys, I had made a bingo beforehand to keep them entertained through a 2-hour-long episode.
Yes.
When I was making bingo, I had one of the boxes be blatant gay bait. So then through the whole episode, the boys I was with were like, is that gay bait? Does that count as gay bait? Does that count as gay bait? And I was like, no, shut up. You'll know when you will know gay bait when you see it.
Literally.
And then they did that. And they were all like, oh.
Mm-hmm. So Matthew kind of gets away with this because he's so beloved. But can you imagine if literally anyone else ran these boys into the ground like the Navy? And like that's kind of how they portrayed it in the show. And like, can you imagine if anyone else led a team like this, how it would absolutely like destroy them in their ranking? If Christian did this, he would be crucified.
I'm very interested to see where Matthew stands in the rankings next time. But I felt like he, in the end, since the performance succeeded, they made it try to seem like he was a good leader. But what I will say is that all of those shots of Ji-woong looking so disheveled, I was living.
There are so many pictures back to back of Ji-woong being put in a blender made of sweat.
It was so funny. Also, oh my god, one of the favorite parts of my friends was when the masters were roasting the hell out of Gyuvin.
Oh my god. Yeah, when they're like, hey, you guys clearly aren't here for your talent. They just must like you for you. That was insane.
Yeah, one of them was like, wow, the guy who's rank 18 must feel good right now, because at least he knows the master's not talking about him.
Here's the thing. In a group where Matthew is the main vocal, is that wrong? Where are the vocalists in this group? Where are the main dancers? I'm thinking that everyone is at least reasonably competent as much of these things, but this isn't a group of like Hui or like the best, or like Haruto isn't doing a kickflip in here, you know?
Yeah, this was a group of high ranked, but not, and I'm sorry boys, not highly skilled performers.
I'll say, to me, Ji-woong has amazing charisma and confidence on stage, but obviously he's not there to be a main vocal. And I thought So-won, he did very well, but his vibe and voice kind of doesn't fit the song.
Yeah, he was not giving sexy. Honestly, I'm surprised Ji-woong kicked out Ricky and not So-won. I felt like Ricky would have done, maybe not like a better job all around, but Ricky definitely fit the vibe more to me.
I agree, but I think it was tactical, because to me, Ricky is the number one, if not Ji-woong was there, then there's no way that Ricky wouldn't be the killing part, right?
If the killing part is the line that's like, did I make you anxious? Then yeah, Ricky should have.
Yes, literally.
First off, Ricky is a man of one-liners.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll say, it did shock me that Gyuvin won, because I hardly noticed him.
Oh, completely. Gyuvin blended into the background for me. He did nothing for me. And me and the boys, we were shocked. We were shocked when Gyuvin won.
I'm sorry to say this, I don't like Matthew's voice.
Wow, as if you haven't said that on the pod. As if you were like, what, a quote from episode 2. His vocals could soar to a staggering 2.5.
Yeah, okay, maybe, fine, you're right. Okay, it's the nasal, like, I can see his throat tension on notes that aren't that hard. I'm sorry. Oh, briefly, we got to see 30 seconds of all the other groups, if you didn't see that.
I don't think I watched them.
I'll tell you my list of Slayers.
Okay.
Kong slayed. Kong slayed hard.
Not surprising.
Ungi carried.
Not surprising.
No one else in his group really made the cut, I feel.
Sad.
I'm excited to see Kwanrui sing, because I feel like I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Other than, like, very short ones. You know who slayed? Ichan.
I so believe it, though. I believe this is his redemption arc, and I somehow doubt that he's gonna make it into the next round, though.
He's not gonna make it, but he sounded so good. Like, there's a part for Mingyu in his song where he literally just screams.
I'm excited for that, then.
Christian kind of slayed. Not as much as Ichon or Kong, but he's very solid. He showed you the good Christian, not the bad Christian.
But he still got good Christian in the second episode of these two, so he is not gonna get a boost.
I know. We talked about Zoom earlier.
We did.
I'm really sorry to say this. Oily was really bad.
Shocked.
He was dragging the group down for me, and I'm really sorry about this.
Oh my god.
He's visibly, like, I know he's like 16 or 17, but he's like visibly like 13 or 14. Talent show a little bit.
It's not his fault for being charmingly adorable.
I will say these outfits are probably some of the cuter ones.
This was my favorite styling out of the episode, but I'll have to wait until next step to see if it's my favorite. To me,
yes,
Zoom was easily the best performance of the episode.
Here's the thing. I know that Home was really good, but honestly, I ended up loving Wu Moody's performance the most this episode.
Wu Moody killed it. Honestly, yeah, I think he was my performance highlight as well. Like, his vocals in Zoom were so good, and he did his branding. Genius play.
And it was so cute.
It was so cute. I enjoyed all of the performances. The standout for the boys was Keita.
Yes.
And Haruto, because he did a flip.
Yeah, Haruto stunt queen.
For me, it was Bumudi.
Ironically, this is the best Keita rap so far.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Hyunbin, he was very cute. I would say he didn't really stand out to me, which is maybe a minus for a center, but I loved that they came together for him.
Yes, I will echo that sentiment. I felt like he seemed hesitant. He didn't seem like he was willing to commit to this sort of goofy bounciness of it. And honestly, that's why I feel like I liked Ollie's performance, was because even though he was like not an amazing rapper and he does sound like a kid, I was like, oh my god, it like doesn't sound out of place in this group.
Yeah. No, this is good, because imagine if they put Oli on Love Killer.
No, they could never. Illegal. Shut it down.
It would be, but could you imagine hearing him rap in it?
No.
Can you imagine Oily and Gang?
Oh my god. No, he had the perfect choice for him.
He needed this song. Although I think he could have lived in Rush Hour.
Probably. Especially the direction they took it.
Yeah, when I say live, I don't mean live. I mean, like, it'd be fine.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Can you imagine having to do that song after Jay in Camden?
I would actually be so pissed.
Like, give up.
How are you gonna top that?
How do you feel about Home?
I really liked Home. I thought this was a strong performance from the Homeboys. Actually, let me look up who's in it.
Jay, Honghae, Sunggon, Yoon Seo, and Jongwoo.
Okay, so here's why I said that, because I forgot Yoon Seo was in it.
Yeah, he had no lines.
He had no lines. He did nothing. I'm sorry, this was not his week, and I'm sorry he got the worst part in the group, probably.
I know.
I also think this was kind of Ding Hong Hai's biggest flop so far.
I know, because, like, Honghae isn't bad, but if you look at his sheet, he wrote himself as number one vocal, and I didn't see that this week.
No, and I mean, he had, like, a great harmony, but I don't think his voice is strong enough to be the main vocal, and also I feel like his biggest selling point so far was his energy on stage, and he wasn't able to, like, match the energy of something that soft, which was surprising because he's such a sweet boy.
Yeah, speaking of not matching the energy, so Sungwon, he has, like, one of the better vocal, like, potential of, like, the people in the show, but here's the thing. He brings the sort of same tone to everything, no matter what he's supposed to be serving.
I would agree with that. Interesting observation.
Because, like, whether it's in Aju Nice, he's, like like where Kong might use like a lighter falsetto sung on no matter what it is, he will belt it.
I felt like no one in this group had a voice that really suited the song, unfortunately.
Even Jay.
Jay did his part well, but like we saw that he couldn't hit the high notes.
Haha. Yeah.
Sorry, Jay.
How do you feel about I like how I like the choreography that Jongwoo did. They gave him the edit of all time.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't even mad about it. Like, I like Jongwoo now.
Yeah, he seems really reliable. I understand why he's pushed, but I take him seriously as someone who could like end up in like the top late teens, but I'm not sure if people will vote for him enough to be in the top like 9, you know?
I think he could make it.
I think he would be a great asset to any team he's in.
I think Jongwoo is playing the game the smartest out of anybody on that TV show. It started with the gay bait, Betsy. Look how far we've come. And the gay bait has continued with this week.
2 gay baits in his song.
And he's proven that he can do like any concept. He is switching it up every time and still delivering.
Yeah. That's not untrue.
I've got my eyes on Jongwoo.
What did the boys think? What were their favorite?
Well, let me put a clip in of them answering that question.
It wasn't Home.
It was Home.
No, it was not Home.
Love Killa. There was the first one that was called Gang.
It was not Gang.
And there was Zoom.
It was the one with the rapper.
This isn't
The
Home.
Keita, I think you're talking about.
With the bunny ears.
Yeah.
Okay, that one. That was
That's-
Zoom, right?
Yeah, that was Zoom.
Zoom did the best.
Whoa. Did any of them like hate any songs?
They hated Gang. They all hated Gang and they all liked Zoom.
Were any of them divisive?
They didn't like the song Home, but they thought the performance was fine. They were like, Home seems like a bad choice to be on this show. Like, they didn't get an opportunity to give, like, the energy and power that the other stages got.
It's also like, it seems to be a much higher difficulty song than like almost all of them.
That's what it seemed like. I was so happy that they lowered the key, and I was like, why don't they do this for more songs? Because there's so many boys out here struggling.
Yeah, because like, speaking of lowering the key, we got to see the build-up for Tomboy.
Yeah.
And I think it's so interesting how they have to, like, tie, like, Jong Hao's sort of, like, hype into, like, a little bit of, like Korean nationalism a little bit.
They needed to secure those Korean votes for him to stay in the top 9. I want him in the top 9, so I'm not mad about it. I know that's what has to be done. This is just, like, the way that they have to rig things
but, like,
now.
We have to steal his passport.
I know, I was like, literally that line was so an obvious way to get Korean people to vote for him.
Like what was the one where they're like, if you want to be a Korean performer, you have to know the language just as good, if not better, than a Korean.
I don't remember that part, but I believe it. Like, I was just glad that Jong Hao got his moment to shine because, well, he's been like the center. I felt like he hasn't had like a good plot line focused on him. He had that good moment being firm but still gentle with Min about Min needing a new part. But that was like his one moment of looking reliable.
He's had a lot of like I don't know if it's necessarily on the show or behind the scenes of like him sort of baby moding Gunwook.
I have noticed that people talk about that. And as a Hwan Hee stan, I'm like, shut up! He could never be Hwan Hee. They could never have what he and Hwan Hee have.
Gunwook has, like, especially with these multiple, like, baby edits at the same time being like, oh my god, he's so scary, look at him coming towards us in the tomboy team, he's so big, cries, hides. Like, what is this the most conflicting edit of all time?
I'm so fascinated. Like, Gunwook's never going to be on my top 9. But I am so fascinated every time they put him on screen, just because I'm like, So how are they gonna handle you this time?
This is like, you know how they called Wonyoung Giant Baby?
Mm-hmm.
This is them taking the term but making it evil.
I mean, I feel like they're using it to de-evil him because he started so intimidating.
I know but I feel like they're doing it both ways. They're taking both and they're turning them both up to 11.
Yeah, that's true. He's the supreme giant baby. However, he will never be Wonyoung.
Speaking of Ganuk, how did you feel when he took over Ungi's spot and then Ungi did what only Ungi can do?
Honestly, I was like, thank God that Ungi's not wasting his talents on Tomboy. But I wouldn't have felt bad if I was Ganuk either. Like, Ungi slayed just walking to the next song.
How did the boys on Boys Planet that you visited feel about Schweibo?
They just were shocked by the lack of confidence with so many of them, especially on that team.
Oh, I meant when he's like, oh, that's my favorite song. I don't care about any other song now.
Oh, they didn't react to that I know of. I think they were excited for Feel Special because of classic beloved TikTok, I teach my straight roommates Feel Special.
I know, when I was hoping that Feel Special would be in the episode that you would, like, be visiting the boys.
I know, but I am pretty sure they'll watch the YouTube video next week. Actually, one of them, after the show, was like, you know, Mari, I would watch the next episode too. Ironically, that was the one that fell asleep at the last 10 minutes.
Well,
Tomboy put him to bed.
Tomboy and those 5 songs that they're like, choose for the boys.
Yeah, did you vote in that?
No, it was like only open for like 12 hours or whatever, right? I completely missed it.
Yeah, so did I.
I will say, do you want my quick one-line thoughts on each of the songs?
Sure.
Why is Switch called Oriental Pop? What year is it?
I know. I was like, that's crazy. Can you guys be saying that?
Like,
That was crazy.
it was a weird decision to me. Number 2. Oh, Switch. I wasn't crazy about it, by the way. Next is the song Supercharger. I think it sounds fine, but it's not really something you can show off to. Both your vocals and dance. Over Me, I'm mixed on. I don't like the dance. Say My Name, I think it's fine. It's the cuter one. Parts of the dance fit very well and parts of the dance don't. From the clip we saw. On Guard, I thought sucked.
I don't remember my thoughts about any of the individual ones, but I remember thinking as a group that it was stronger than previous seasons.
Yeah, they all sound like real songs from debuted artists, which isn't always the case.
Yeah, I feel like from Girls Planet, only Snake had... Well, actually, Snake and the You Plus Me Equals Love Girls eventually sold me on the song, but it didn't start off with, like, me thinking it was going to be a good song.
Oh, I have two questions.
Oh?
That, based on pictures that I sent you before you watched it. So the 2 most notable hats from this performance, from this set, are Takuto's cat hat and Keita's bunny hat.
Yes.
Which is better?
Okay, first off, let me just say I loved both of them. I thought they were both fantastic.
They're both excellent.
The boys were not sold on the bunny hat at first, but I think it won them over eventually.
Yeah, I think it's cute.
I think that I have to choose the bunny hat just because Keita looked like he was born to wear that hat.
Yeah.
It literally fit him so well.
I love Takuto's cheek accessory. I think he's the king of cheek accessories.
Oh, speaking of accessories, what do you think about Wumudi's, like, gemstone glued onto his lip?
I loved his little lip ring or whatever. I thought that was so fun.
It was literally just like a gem stuck on his lip.
So what? When Takuto has a gem stuck on his cheek, is that wrong? When Dongun has the lip ring for hot sauce, was that wrong? No. I accept all face accessories.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying the placement of that scared me. I was like, how did that not fall off?
Eyelash glue. And my second question, actually, I request that you somehow, you know how you put images on screen sometime?
Mm-hmm.
So when Ji-woong did a fan service moment, There's a full motion that Kwanri did.
The tongue.
The whole fucking full head tongue roll. What? What was that?
He was feeling something in that moment, I guess.
He's feeling a lot. On camera, he was feeling a lot. Do you wanna, since we don't have the actual rankings yet, do you wanna tell me your top 9?
I would love to tell you my top 9.
Even though you've lost your number 1?
I know, we've literally lost my number 1. I spent the whole week grieving Hwan Hee. Listened to his cover, was so excited, screamed at everyone to be like, shut up, shut up, shut up. They're about to do the Hwan Hee go away thing, because I knew that would happen. But I've composed myself, and I've developed a new top 9. So I'm excited to share it with you.
Ooh.
So my number 9.
Yes.
There's 2 options.
Yes.
There's the option where I'm like, okay, this is my choice where I'm not giving into my biases, and there's my choice where I'm giving into my biases. And obviously my bias choice is Orly.
I support you.
Because I appreciate a baby mode in performances.
You appreciate a cute concept?
I appreciate a, hi guys, this is my rap. And that he's not trying to imitate Rap God because he knows who he is. But my choice that's not clouded by baby vision is Yoon Jungwoo. Jungwoo, I see you.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's more room on Planet Mari. Now that there's a really sad crater left.
Yeah, up tension, better get it together. My number 8 is Lee Sung-hwan, even though the gang performance wasn't amazing to me. It doesn't resonate. He carried, and I have not stopped thinking about your Catalina group and how Lee Sung-hwan could absolutely eat it up.
Thank you. I also think about that. It would literally I need it.
My number 7 is Chaungi.
Thank you.
Yes. But I will say I'm literally not voting for anyone who's not in my top 6 right now.
Uh-huh.
I've gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, Korean boys, I'm sorry. There's only 2 that I'm voting for, I think. And one of them is my number 6, Kim Ji-woon.
He doesn't need it.
I don't know my logic with this one. I just like see his face on the app and I'm like, I need him in the final lineup.
Yeah.
So I keep voting for him. Another one who doesn't need it, but is my number 5, is Jung Hao.
Yes.
But I also feel like he does need it. I feel like a lot of the G group top 9 members aren't as stable as I'd like them to be.
Except Matthew.
Except Machu, but I would not like him to be that stable. Machu is not in my ideal top 9.
Yeah.
I've accepted my fate, but I'm still fighting for the rest of my spots, you know? So my number 4
Yeah.
is Boomu T.
Love him.
Yeah, no, I'm so hoping that he makes it past the eliminations. I know he probably won't because his rank is so low, but like he did so good in this performance, so he has that extra week to catch up.
I know, I love him.
And I feel like global creators are like finally global voters are finally seeing him.
Star creators.
Yes, that's the word. My number 3, another one who doesn't need it, Lee Hwa-taek. Well, actually, no, he does need it because of the shocking news from this week.
Insane.
Yeah, that he dropped out of the top 9. Literally insane. So I'm voting for him. My number 2 is Jay.
Yeah.
And my number 1, Haruto.
Oh, cute.
Now that Hwan Hee has fallen, I have a rapper in my top spot, which is something that I never saw coming.
Yeah. I believe it.
Would you like to share your top 9 with me?
I would love to. So I have 3 candidates for number 9.
Oh, then I don't feel bad about having 2 for me. Nice.
Yeah. So one of the candidates is Yu Sung-won.
Yeah.
Another is Chen Kwon-ri.
Ooh, I'm really looking forward to his performance next week, but I feel like I cannot possibly put him on there until he sings.
Yeah, and the third is Kim Ji-woong.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a cringe old man in some aspects.
He's so funny to me, and I don't know why.
I felt this way before I saw his incredibly live, laugh, love Instagram, but I still feel this way. Like, it only intensified it. He has such an interesting personality.
At the beginning, I thought he was out of touch because he's attractive. But now I'm like, I think he's just out of touch because he is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
His view on life doesn't seem to have been as influenced by his quote-unquote pretty privilege, as the people on TikTok would say.
Yes.
But instead, he's just kind of an odd guy.
I know, I love him.
Who's your number 8?
My number 9, you mean, is Chen Kwon-ri.
Oh, you chose one. I thought that they were all fighting for the spot.
No, it's Chen Kwon-ri. I will. This might change if he can't sing. My number 8 is Kong.
Valid. Especially, I'm really interested now that you have said that he slayed his vocals. I am interested to hear that.
Yeah, I love a vocal queen. My 7 is Zhang Hao.
A solid candidate.
My 6 is Lee Sung-hwan.
Ooh, our fave minion boy.
I know. Took me a little bit, but
I know, and he might not even make it.
I know. Like, he would be such I want him to be the dark horse.
I know, he should be. It should be Wamudi and it should be Lee Sung-hwan. I literally went into the show thinking they weren't showing him off first because he was in a group with Ji-woong and was going to be dark horsed later.
I know. 5 is Jay.
Ooh.
4 is Haruto.
Love Haruto. Shocked he's not higher.
I love him, but here's the thing. There are 3 people who are kind of my priority right now. I do love Haruto and I want him to debut, but number 3, I feel in danger for Wumuti right now.
I know. Oh my god, voting for him every day.
I know. Number 2 is Lee Ho-taek.
I know. We gotta fight for him too. He's in danger of losing his top 9 spot.
Crazy. Like, no one can out-sing him on this show.
Literally. I don't understand how this is happening.
He's written, if you are a boy group stan, Ho-taek literally wrote, one of the most important boy group songs ever.
I'm shocked they didn't perform Energetic, frankly.
I know. It's Chong.
Yeah, I know. Number 1 is Chongi.
I'm obsessed with him.
He's very charming.
Yeah, I couldn't watch his last survival show, because they have no, what's it called, subtitles. They made him fucking perform songs by the Beatles.
That's hysterical. They should do that on Boys Planet.
They made him perform, I think all English songs. They started with the Beatles, and I think they had to perform Bad Guy by Billie Eilish.
I live. Honestly, that sounds like a good show. This is a short ep, but should we wrap it up by listening to the other clips I have of my male friends reacting?
Absolutely. Easily.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, what would your strategy be in Boys Planet?
Just keep hating as hard as possible with every boy. Make sure you know where the cameras are so you can be turned towards them, and put phones next to knees so you can go to touch the phone but it looks like you're touching their knee. Hug them when they're crying on the stairwell.
Gay bait with every single boy. Every single one.
How hard could it be?
You're not choosing just one.
He doesn't realize how important an OTP is.
You're a player. You're a player in the boy norms.
In the Boys Planet world. I would stay away from the 17-year-old, I guess.
Good tip. Good tip. There were other questions, but I wasn't a very good interviewer, so I'll leave it there.
Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me, and thank anyone else
For listening.